You were sitting on your couch. It's 8:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. The day is done, the work is finished, and you're just scrolling. An ad pops up for that specific type of ergonomic pillow you looked at 3 days ago. Or maybe you get an email saying a subscription has just renewed. You don't panic. You don't feel a surge of emotion. You might just double tap the screen or swipe the notification away. It's a transaction of $20 or maybe $50. In the grand scheme of your life, it feels weightless. It feels like nothing. You put the phone down. You go to get a glass of water. You don't realize it yet, but that micro moment, that split second of effortless action is actually the architect of your entire future. We tend to think that our lives are defined by massive events. The day you sign the mortgage papers, the day you accept the new job offer, the day you move to a new city. We treat our finances the same way. We worry about the market crash or the big raise. But if you look closely at the last year of your life, the big moments are rare. Most of your life is just Tuesday. It's the decision to upgrade the shipping speed because you want the package by the weekend. It's ordering the takeout because the groceries in the fridge require 20 minutes of cooking and you are exhausted. It's the extra streaming service you keep because finding the password to cancel it feels like too much friction. These aren't bad decisions. They're logical responses to modern fatigue. You aren't being reckless. You are just seeking a little bit of ease. You are buying back a small piece of your energy. However, when these moments stack on top of each other, they stop being isolated events. They become a current. Imagine a ship in the middle of the ocean. If the captain adjusts the wheel by just 1 degree, nobody on board feels the turn. The view from the window looks exactly the same, but over the course of 1,000 miles, that 1 degree shift is the difference between landing in a tropical paradise or drifting aimlessly in the open water. Your spending habits work the same way. The quiet, invisible drift of convenience is steering the ship, and right now, for most of us, the autopilot is set to a destination we didn't consciously choose. Why does this happen? Why is it so hard to resist the small, frequent costs, even when we know we want to save for the future? It isn't because you lack discipline. It isn't because you are lazy. It is because your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. Human beings are wired for what psychologists call hyperbolic discounting. In simple terms, this means we value a small reward right now much more than a massive reward later. To your brain, the you of 5 years from now is a stranger. When you think about saving money for that future version of yourself, biologically it feels like you are giving your resources away to someone else. The modern economy has mastered the art of exploiting this bias. Every app, every website, and every store layout is designed to remove friction. Friction is the moment of pause, the time it takes to count cash, the time it takes to drive to the store, the time it takes to write a check. When you remove friction, you remove the time required for the logical part of your brain to catch up with the emotional part. Think about the one-click buy button. It is an engineering marvel designed to bypass your prefrontal cortex. It allows you to act on a desire before you have the chance to question it. The pain of paying, that visceral feeling of handing over hard-earned cash, has been anesthetized by digital wallets and Face ID. So you aren't fighting a fair fight. You're up against a system designed to keep you in a state of unconscious flow. Here's what most people don't notice. We spend so much time analyzing the items we buy. We ask, do I need these shoes, or should I buy this car? But the item isn't the problem. The frequency of the decision-making process is the problem. The choice that determines your next 5 years isn't, should I buy Apple stock or should I stop drinking lattes? The choice is much simpler and much harder. The choice is, will I live in default mode or will I switch to manual control? Most of us live in default mode. In default mode, if you feel tired, you spend money to fix it. If you feel bored, you spend money to entertain yourself. If you feel insecure, you spend money to signal status. It's a stimulus-response loop. Trigger, then action. The next 5 years of your life will be the sum total of how often you interrupted that loop. So how do we switch to manual control without becoming obsessed or miserable? We don't want to live a life where we scrutinize every single penny to the point of anxiety. That isn't sustainable. The goal is not deprivation. The goal is awareness. The practical reframe is this: introduce the pause. You don't need a complex budgeting spreadsheet to change your trajectory. You just need to insert a gap between the trigger and the action. Let's go back to that Tuesday night on the couch. You see the ad, you feel the urge. In default mode, you click. In manual mode, you wait. You can implement a rule as simple as the 24-hour rule for anything under $50 and a 7-day rule for anything over $100. During that pause, the dopamine rush, the chemical excitement of the potential reward, starts to fade. The fog clears, and usually within a few hours, you realize you didn't actually want the item, you just wanted to change how you felt at that moment. You were bored or stressed or looking for a hit of novelty. By introducing the pause, you separate the emotion from the transaction. This applies to the bigger picture too. When you are about to sign up for a new recurring commitment, pause. Ask yourself, is this purchase for the life I am building, or is this a tax I am paying for not managing my time? Often, we spend money to cover up cracks in our schedule. We buy convenience because we are overscheduled. We buy distractions because we are avoiding difficult work. When you pause, you give yourself the dignity of a choice. You stop being a passive participant in your own economy. Here's why this matters for the next 5 years. Every time you choose to pause, you are not just saving $10 or $50, you are casting a vote for a different identity. When you resist the impulse purchase, you are proving to yourself that you are in control. You are proving to yourself that you can sit with a little bit of discomfort or boredom without needing to swipe a card to fix it. It builds a psychological muscle. In year 1, this might look like having a little extra savings. By year 3, this looks like the ability to say no to things that don't align with your values, because you aren't desperate for the dopamine hit. By year 5, you aren't just a person with more money in the bank. You are a person who has fundamentally changed their relationship with desire. You become someone who possesses things, rather than someone who is possessed by things. The next 5 years are going to pass whether you change or not. The time will go by. Tuesday nights will keep coming. The notifications will keep popping up. You don't need to overhaul your entire life tonight. You don't need to sell everything you own or vow to never buy a coffee again. You just need to look at the next choice, the very next time you reach for your wallet or your phone, and ask yourself, am I choosing this, or is it choosing me? The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is hidden in that silence between the urge and the action. It's just one choice, but you have to make it again and again and again.